Hi guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? I just wanted to do some bed rant. I just woke up practically. I really slept in today. I sleep a lot in the winter because I don't really want to be up in the cold. Uh, but I just want to rant a little bit about uh, Christmas from a distance because it's not Christmas time now. I can speak about it. When it's Christmas time, I'm overwhelmed. I don't like Christmas, and it really kind of smothers me. But when it's been a month or so since Christmas, I can talk about how I feel about it and kind of say goodbye to it for another year, which is a good thing for me. But I just want to talk about what I think about some Christmas stuff. I'm kind of tired because I just woke up, but let me just try to do this. Really, there's some weird stuff in Christmas. First of all, Santa is a respelling of Satan. You can spell Satan from Santa and vice versa. Just switch the letters around. It's called an anagram when two words have the same exact letters just in different orders. So there's weirdness there, especially since he can see you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He's got psychic powers. It sounds like Satan, which I kind of like because I'm kind of a Satanist if I'm anything, I'm either an atheist or a Satanist. But weird for Christmas, for a supposed Christian holiday to have a being that spells his name with the same letters as Santa and has telepathic powers. And not only that, he has telekinesis. What would be called? He can go all around the world in a single night. That really would take some spiritual, weirdness. You couldn't do that physically. It'd have to be some kind of a supernatural thing. He's almost like he's a deity. You couldn't go to every kid's house, every house in one night and give all. That's supernatural if there is anything supernatural. Um, but anyway, there's that bit of weirdness about Christmas. It's just weird to me because not that there's anything wrong with putting Satan in a name like that because Satan's cool, but nobody catches that and everybody's blissfully unaware of that and they all sing it like it's this holy thing to Jesus when really it's a respelling of Satan. Just kind of irks me a little bit every Christmas. So there's that. Now but there's some cool things I like about the songs, too. I mean, there's some cool things about. I like the Drummer Boy song. That's a cool song because he didn't have money, but yet he could play his drum. That's pretty Shirtless Guy. I mean, I don't have tons of money. I'm not a rich person, but I have my talent. I have the things that make me unique that money can't describe or can't define. And I think that's kind of cool about the Drummer Boy. I've always related to that song because of that. Like he didn't. I don't know. I didn't. Didn't always know I was going to not end up with. Well, no. I always liked that song because it was unpretentious. Of to just play drums for someone great like Jesus, when really everyone else is just throwing gold chips. I thought that was cool. I think that's a cool story. And then another cool story. Sorry about my hair. Sometimes I have to do it. Another cool story I like is the Rudolph story. I always liked that story, the Rudolph story and the Rudolph song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because it's every hero's journey. That song. Think about it. He's a reindeer that gets picked on and it's different and everybody makes fun of him and nobody likes him, probably not even himself. And then he turns out to be the hero of the day, and I had a hard time seeing myself in that growing up because I didn't see the other end of it. I didn't see anything positive about my Rudolph story. I didn't see that one day I would be, liked and appreciated or any of that kind of nonsense. I never saw that coming as a kid, but now in hindsight, when I look back at it, I do. I'm going to go on about it a little bit. Things about me that got made fun of that no longer are funny, like my intelligence. I got picked on right and left in school for being smart. Now I'm not saying I'm the smartest dude. There's people that are so smart I didn't want to handle it. But smartness is cool because smartness gets things done. Intelligence makes things happen. Bill Gates changed the world with Microsoft, and he was just a geek. Well, that intelligence is a cool thing. It was not cool in the 80s when I grew up. It was like anything but. If you were smart, you were automatically ostracized from the get-go. Period. You're done. Just get out of here. And that was me. And very few peers with me. Like, I didn't have anybody else standing there with me either. It wasn't like there was another nerd there, if you want to call it nerd. There was no other. I didn't have a comfort person, and neither did Rudolph, did he? There was no other red-nosed reindeer for him to talk to comfort him, succor him. It's a word. Succor means comfort. No, he was all by himself, and that's how I was. And it didn't even end there. It wasn't just my nerdishness. It was my physical appearance. I'm going to go on about this. I just realized one of them today. Should I do that one first? I just realized today that I had hair that I didn't like growing up, and I didn't understand that it would be a good thing. And I didn't realize that till this morning. I later realized this like an hour ago that's when I woke up. The cool kids had thin hair that they could sling around. It would look cool, like they had thinner hair. Sometimes they grew it longer. My parents always made me cut mine, but that wasn't the whole issue. My hair was thick. It was always like just there. And the cool kids could sling their hair around like it was a wind, like it was it just looked cool to me. And I couldn't do that because my hair was too thick. And now it finally dawned on me today, those guys lost their hair. Their hair was thin. It wasn't attached to their scalp like mine. My hair was always just there. And now I've got great hair. That's a rhyme. And I did not see that. I didn't even recognize that till this morning, that was the case. I remember now, though. The cool kids could always sling their hair around, and they don't have hair now. I just know it. I can tell. I can see guys my age, and they don't have hair. They were the cool kids slinging their hair around when they were younger, and I don't have that. And I still have my hair, and it's great. And I'm sorry. It's the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story in my life. It's the hero's journey. Another thing about my looks, there's two other things. I was very pale as a kid. Like, other kids could get tans. They could be the tan. I'm not bad, because I've been out in the sun 30 years. But I had really pale skin as a kid. Like look at this white guy coming up here, and the guys with the tans have more skin problems than I do. They look gross because now they're really gross brown looking, and they have problems with skin problems that you get, from just. I don't know. I have good skin. I put it that way. I have good skin, and I never thought of it that way growing up because I was the white guy. I was the pale dude in the group. I never thought one day I'd end up, having comparatively remarkably good skin. It just didn't occur to me. I didn't even cross my mind. What do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm just the white dude. So there's that. A third thing about my appearance is that I was very skinny. I was very skinny as a kid. I mean, I kind of been skinny now, but when I was a kid, dude, I was the skinniest kid. I mean, you think I take my hair, my skin, and my skinniness and my nerdishness. I was the kid that every kid picked on. Every kid. Well, let me go on about about my skinniness first, and then I'll go on about a little more about how it felt. No, I was very skinny. I was very small. First of all, that's a rhyme. I was 5'4" or 5 foot. I think I was 5'4" when I graduated high school at 17 years old. That's very short, but that alone isn't the whole deal. It was that I was so skinny. I weighed like 104 pounds or 95 pounds or something when I graduated high school. Very, very skinny, pale skin, thick hair, But now all those things turn out to be cool. It's good that I was skinny because I'm not overweight now. I just weighed myself. I'm 168 this morning, 168.4. It's not bad. I'm 5'10", 168.4. That's a little high right now, but I don't know. It goes down a little bit. That's comparable to what it can be. Sometimes it goes down to 165, and then I might be hungry then and eat a little bit, but whatever. So it's the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story because people my age don't look good. I'm sorry. They just don't, especially guys, they just don't look good. And all those things I thought were negative about myself, and even other people thought, and I thought, and nobody even there to help me or to make me feel better, actually are good now. And of course the drug thing, I never did drugs. That made you kind of like a weirdo too. even drugs, even just not using drugs was kind of a weird thing in the 80s. Everybody did them. You drank, you did drugs, you smoked pot, whatever. And I didn't do that. I was just like the weirdest kid you could even think of in school. Even through high school. It didn't stop, and it didn't even get that much better in high school. My uniqueness didn't really start to even become tolerable until Harvard went college, when it became more like everybody else was a nerd too type of thing. And even then, I was still made fun of. I was still made fun of at Harvard went college, just not as badly, you know. But anyway, that's the good thing about Christmas. The Rudolph story, I kind of like that story. Like I said, it's the hero's journey. But as an example of me as a kid, when I was in 8th grade, one time I got on the school bus, and some kid from the back of the bus just yells out, "Did you do your homework, study boy?" That was my nickname, study boy. And I swear the whole bus started laughing at me. The whole bus just starts cracking up at me, at this cool guy's joke. "Did you do your homework?" And everybody starts laughing. And I end up sitting on the second to the front row, because that's how uncool I was. I couldn't sit in the back of the bus. That was where the cool kids were. I had to sit with my tail between my legs, so to speak, in the second to the front row of the whole bus. As far back as I could. And I had to sit on the end because nobody really wanted to scoot over for me. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.